Hello, everyone. It's Michael, and I'm going to be doing your Smart Suite Library Administrator's walk around. Okay, so if you've got any questions whatsoever, not a problem. Just go ahead on the right hand side and open up the chat, and you can type your questions in there, and I'll see it pop up on my screen, and I'll stop where I am, and then I will address it for you. So what questions can you ask? Absolutely anything. It's entirely up to you. Doesn't matter what you want to know. If you ask, we'll answer them. So the first thing we're going to do is Smart Suite Library and administrators walk around. The first thing you need to do is you need to understand the patron system. In other words, all the teachers, the students, the parents, the administrators, and anyone else that you want to give access to your library. Okay, they need to be able to be logged in. As you can see, I'm logged in because I've got a sign out here. If I was not signed in, it'll say sign in, and you click on that, and you will be given a login prompt. If you're a single sign-on, it'll just take you straight in anyway. Okay, so let's have a look at the patron side of it. It's a pretty fundamental starting point. In other words, how do I put people on and how do I manage and control what they can and cannot do? Okay, so you should, once you signed in, you need to click on the menu. Everything that you do will come from that menu bar here. So you click on the menu, okay, and then that's your menu item up here. Okay, we need to go to the patron menu, and from the patron menu you've got a whole bunch of options, okay, including uploading patrons into the system. We're not going to deal with that now, but you can contact us for support if you want to do that. We're going to go into patron management. So when you click on patron management, what it's going to do is it's going to bring up the screen where all the patrons' details are stored. Okay, and when you're logged in and you click patron management, it will always bring up your record. So if you're logged in as librarian, it'll come up with your record. If you're logged in as Mary, it'll come up with Mary's record. If you're logged in with Jack, it'll come up with Jack's record. So whoever you're logged in with, that's what it'll come up. And if you go, yeah, but I need to go and look at Mike's record. So if you need to do that, you've got a find button on the bottom. Click on find and type in Mike. Okay, and it'll give you anyone that has Mike anywhere in their profile. And if you want Mike Smith as an example, click on Mike Smith and it'll bring up Mike Smith's record. Or you can say, no, I don't want Mike, I want Fernandez. So you just go FER. You can type in their whole name if you like. I'll just type in 3 characters and it'll bring up everyone with 3 characters. And there they go. Okay, so, or you can say, no, I'm after Scott, SCO, and it'll bring up anyone with SCO, and Jack Scott. Click on that, and that's Jack Scott's record. Okay, and now once you've got the patron up, you can change any of these parameters that you want. You just have to remember to hit save when you finish. Okay, and that's all there is to going in and finding a patron and then adding them onto the system. Now, but I want to add a new patron. So how do I add that? Well, that's the new button down here. So when you click on new, it'll give you a blank screen, and that's where you'll enter your patron details on there. It's asking for a patron barcode. So basically, in the old days, you used to have a bunch of barcodes, and they were called patron barcodes. And then you go and peel a barcode off that, put it on a card, and then enter that barcode number into the system. Okay, and that's your barcode there. However, nowadays, we go, why run a second set of numbers if he's already known as uh, Jake Smith and his admin number is JS00023? Why not give him the admin number? It can be a numeric number, it can be an alphanumeric number, it can be anything that the admin system gives him. So that way, when his parents come to pay the bill, they're paying the bill for JS0023. When he's in the library, JS0023, and so forth and so on. Okay, so then the next thing you do is you need to give him a first name, Jake, and the surname is Sanderson. Jake Sanderson. His email address. Do you need it? Not really. but we'll put it in there. It'll come in handy. So Jake at edu.wa.com.eu. Okay, so that's his email address. Security, don't worry about it. Class grade, very, very important. You need to tell them what year level they are. And that list is a very, very important list. We're going to go into that list in a minute. Okay, I'm just showing you how to add a patron. So you must choose a class grade and you must choose a homeroom. Okay, and if the homeroom's not in there, you can just create one on the fly. And by default, he's a student, and you can go save. If you haven't given him a password, it'll automatically give him a random password. Okay, however, you can say no. I have a policy that before I even get into the password, I want to give all my students a username. What can the username be? Well, it can be anything. My recommendation is just have a blanket policy that the username is always their first name, all in lowercase, Jake and a full stop, and Sanderson, all in lowercase. And that's it. That's their username. Now, why do we do that? Okay, so when Jake comes along and you've created their record, you can tell them you can log in with your admin number, or just put in your first name and a full stop and then your surname. And you can also log in with that because that's your username that I've given you. Or you can log in with your email address. So they have a choice. Choose whatever you like. If you forget one, use the other. Okay. Now, remember I said about the password, the system giving a random password? My recommendation, don't let it do that. So click on change password. Okay. And every person you put on, give them the same password. PASSWORD and confirm PASSWORD. You might make the default password the school's name if you like, but make it the same password for everybody and then click change password. Okay, now why do you do that? Now the reason for that is because change password on next login, yes. And what that will mean is that when they next time log in, when Jake logs in, regardless of what he uses to log in, the password is going to be password, and it'll ask him to give himself his own password. And that's it. So you don't know what it is, and you don't care, neither do we, and we don't care. Because he forgets it, he can click on forgot password, and then he'll be able to enter another password. Or you can come in here, call up Jake, click change password, and change it back to password. Make sure change password next login is ticked, and that's it. You're up and running. Okay. Now, if you've got a photograph for Jake, well, what you can do is click on the upload button up here on the right and find the photograph on your C drive or D drive or school drive or whatever drive it is, and click that photograph and it will automatically get transferred into the cloud up here. Okay. Now remember we are talking about their borrowing parameters. So year 11s can borrow so many books, year 12s can borrow so many books, teachers can borrow so many books. Well, that's all tied to the class grade. So we're going to go into the class grade in a minute and talk about that. But let's say this is not a student. This is actually someone that comes and helps in the library, but they only work on the circulation desk. So in that case, their role is not a student. So just click on here and choose an alternative role as a circulation desk operator and then get rid of student. Okay. So now when they log in, they will have the rights to be able to do circulation for you. Okay, but if they also do cataloging, why not go in there and say, and they can also catalog. Okay, but if they do everything else that the library staff does, well, why not go in here and make them a librarian? Okay, and then get rid of all the others. And a librarian will give them all the rights that you have as an administrator to be able to just about do anything. Okay. Okay, so that's all there is to students. As I said, it's simple, it's easy, it's straightforward. You cannot break it. Now, what if you forget something and you don't know, or I forgot to take notes, or Michael was talking too fast, or I did that 6 months ago and I've totally forgotten? How do I contact them for help? Well, guess what? It is really easy. If you're a new user, you're going to get a little exclamation mark here. You can click on that, and that's a live chat. Okay, not like sort of one of these things where it says, "Hello, I'm here to help you. You're looking to buy a car," and you'll say, "Well, my budget is only 15,000," and then the live chat will say, "What kind of car are you looking to buy?" And they totally ignore what you've said. Won't happen with us because we have a live help desk staff group that actually look at the chats that come up and physically respond to each one of them individually as if they were typing and talking to you. Okay, so that's one way to do the chat. Okay, or get help. But you can say, I don't have time for that. I would just like them to send me something, or I want to know where to go to get stuff. Well, you can. You can click on menu. You can come to mailbox. Okay, and in the mailbox you can ask for anything. So create a ticket, and the ticket is, I would like someone to explain to me the borrowing parameters, and the message will be, I'm new to this, I've never used this system before, can you please walk me through it? Okay, my number is such and such. I would appreciate if you just spend 5 minutes with me, or send me a written tech note, or send me a video. So you can put all that stuff in here, hit that plane, and guess what? We'll respond to that in a very timely manner. So that's contacting support for creating a ticket. But you can turn around and say, no, I don't want a ticket. What else have you got for support? Well, go down here and click on support and scroll up, okay? Because otherwise you'll think that's all we have for support. You will be amazed what we've got in support. So you can contact support, you can search help articles, okay? You can look at training videos, you can join the FSI community. I'd strongly recommend you do that. Or you can say, no, I'm new, I just want a quick start guide. So you can go ahead and you can just click on this quick start guide, and the quick start guide will load up for you. Okay, now what you can do is you can turn around and say, no, I don't want a quick start guide. Oh, yep, I do want this quick start guide. Can I print it? Absolutely. So just click on the quick start guide. Okay, and when it loads, you will be able to go ahead and print that particular document out. Okay, and has it got an index? Absolutely, there it is. Okay, cataloging, circulation, reporting, stock take, patrons, everything that you need to know is in here. Okay, and you can go ahead and print that out and you can follow it along. I don't recommend you print it out simply because if the version changes or we've done some upgrades, then all of a sudden your quick start guide that you have in a physical printed format is going to be out of date. Okay, so you can also do that. And by the way, a shortcut is if you just go to YouTube, okay, now you can do it through that help article, but you can go straight to YouTube and type in Smart Suite Library, and guess what? You will get an amazing array of YouTube videos on SmartSuite. And you get different aspects. You get one training session by me, another training session by someone else. You might get a training session by Michael, but he's doing an emphasis on something else. So you can go in there, you can watch what you want. Okay. So that's how you can contact us. However, remember we were on patron records and we're looking at how do I set borrowing parameters. So if you want to set borrowing parameters, remember everything starts with the menu. That's where you need to be at, okay? And make sure you scroll up, scroll down so you got the full menu. So to set the borrowing parameters, remember we said it's in the class grade. When you create a patron, he belongs in a class grade, and the class grade defines the borrowing parameters. So what you can do is you can say, I want to go to the configuration menu and the authority file. So anytime it's a list, that's a dead giveaway. It's an authority file. It's a list somewhere. Click on the authority file and it's all in alphabetic sequence. So it will always come up with the A, audience. Click that and there's all your different authority files. And the one you're looking for is class grade. Click on class grade and there's all your different year levels. If you say, yeah, but I've got a class grade called 8B and it doesn't exist, oh, go in here and go 8B. and go create it. And there it is. It's now created 8B with no parameters. And it doesn't matter which class grade you choose, even if you select an existing one, it'll always bring up the screen and these parameters would be filled in. So let me explain how the parameters work. So what's the first parameter? Security. Well, that is the year level security. So if he's an 8, make it an 8. If he's a 9, make it a 9. If he's a 12, make it a 12. But what about if it's a staff? Well, make all the staffs 50, 50. Okay. Now, why is that important? Okay. You only want to learn senior fiction to year 12s. So then when you call up a year 12 in circulation, which will have a security of 12, and they come to borrow a senior fiction book, it just goes out, not a problem. But if a year 8 student picks it up, it says, oh, you're year 8, but this book is a year 12 book. It'll give you a warning in circulation, say, you shouldn't be lending it to this kid. It's out of his security range. You will be able to override it, but that's what that's used for. And of course, when you come to TV4Education, that's even more important. Okay, but we'll deal with that later. So the next parameter is the final borrowing date. The date you want all the books back in the library. What date it is, that's entirely up to you. We're closing the library on the 14th of December, so I want all the books back by the 14th of December. Expiry date, well, I always say to people, figure out when you're going to leave the school. I'm going to leave on the 12th of the 12th, 2049. I'm retiring then. Okay, just put that date in there so you never have to worry about that date again ever. Why is it there? It's generally used for when you have year 12s and you know that the year 12s are not coming back after the 15th of July. So you don't want to make it 2049. You want to make it the 14th of July or the 12th of July, 2021, the current year you're in. So when they come to borrow, it'll say, hey, don't lend him any books. He's not coming back. You won't get the books back. That's what it's used for, predominantly for year 12s. The next one is loan limit. How many books they can borrow? They can borrow 12 books. How long can they borrow it for? They can borrow it for 14 days. Can they renew on the web? Yep, they can only renew a book once. If they renewed it, how long will they renew it for? They can only renew it for 7 days. And can they reserve? Yes, they can. They can reserve up to 4 books at any one time. Okay, multiple copies should never be turned on. What multiple copies means that if they've left the book at home, can they borrow another copy of the book? If you put a tick in there, they will. They might take the 4 copies that you have and just leave them at home and disadvantage everybody else. So the multiple copy should only be turned on if it's a staff member, because they might take books in a bucket and they might take all the same books and want to distribute to the kids and manage the kids. Okay, so that's what that's for. Patron override is also only for staff members. So I'll give you an example. If this was a staff member, they can borrow 1,000 books and they can borrow for 365 days. Okay, now when they come to borrow a book, that is a 14-day book or an overnight loan, the students can't borrow it for more than that period. However, because the patron overrides and it's a staff member, they can now have it for 365 because I said that staff can override. That's what that's for. Okay. Now, whatever you do, when you do anything, remember to hit the save button, because if you don't hit the save button, nothing gets saved and it closes out. Now, what will happen is every time you put anyone onto the system, okay, and if they are year 8 or year 7 or whatever, that's where they get their parameters from. Okay, so let's have a look at the year 12. So there's the year 12 parameters. Now, if you say no, they can borrow more than 5 books, just come here and change it. And automatically it'll update everybody else that's in year 12. That's all there is to class grade settings. Okay, so just to recap, okay, when you go into patron and you go into patron management, this is where you can go to look at a patron and find out what their borrowing parameters are by using the find button. Or if you want to add a new patron, put a new patron up there. But when you go into their class grade and you assign them into a particular class grade, okay, make sure you also give them a role as a student or a librarian or a cataloger or whatever. But their borrowing and the number of items and how long they can borrow from is all governed by that list. year 10. Okay, and that list of year 10 was found in the configuration menu, authority files, and the authority files are all in alphabetic sequence. And so you just go to class grade, and there they are. All right, very quickly. So now that you know how to add a patron, what about if I want to change a patron? Well, I showed you how to do that, okay? So what you do is in the patron screen, you can change any patron onto the system, okay? But what if you want to delete somebody on the system? So let's go and find someone, okay? Let's go to that last person. There, Jake has left. I want to delete him. So you do a find, you bring him up, and there's the delete button. Just go delete. It says, remember, you're going to delete all the borrowing history. You can't delete him if he's got books on loan. Okay, so you have to make sure that books are flagged as lost or check the books in. But once you do it, you can just go, okay, and guess what? He's now deleted. It's really simple. So I've shown you how to add a patron, change a patron, delete a patron. Now we're going to go to the next thing. How do I add a catalog record, change a catalog record, delete a catalog record? That must be difficult. No, not really. So just click on the menu button, go down to catalog, and go to catalog. And what you will notice, amazingly, is that the screens are almost identical. You've also got a find button, you've also got a new button, you've also got a delete the title button. And that's how simple it is. So if you want to do a new record, just click on new and fill in the details. What do you have to fill in? Well, that's up to you. Just like in Patron, I didn't touch on any of these other buttons there, which you can go and experiment and look at your own leisure. Okay. Well, in regards to the catalog, you can do exactly the same thing. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab an ISBN number of an existing record. Okay, I'm going to copy that. All right, so I want to now catalog a book. So if I want to catalog a book, all I have to do is put in the name of the book, put in the ISBN number, put in the mark number if you want, put in the call number, put in the collation, go into the additional titles, put in any additional titles, go into the subjects, add any subjects. So how do you add subjects? Easy. Just click in here and just pick off a list or type in a brand new subject if it's not on the list. Okay, it's going to tell you this subject doesn't exist. If you go okay, it'll create it in the authority file and in the catalog record. Okay, you can fill in all these details all at random anytime. When you want to put in barcodes, click on the copies, enter the barcode, enter the call number, enter the location, the sublocation, the loan type, the renewal type for that individual copy. Okay, and then last of all, don't forget to hit save. All right. However, if you've got a SKIS subscription, which probably 99% of schools have, you need to have the SKIS membership details put into the system, which I'll deal with later. But if it was already in the system, you know what you can do? Instead of filling in all these details about the book, why not just go straight to the ISBN number and zap in the ISBN number of the book? What barcode reader can you use? Any barcode reader. It's very, very easy. Okay, so zap it in and then hit that little button. When you hit that button, it will automatically go to SKIS, bring the catalog record down and deliver it all for you. And there it is. You just go okay. And guess what? Your whole record's cataloged. Let's have a look at the editor. No editor. Let's have a look at the subject. Oh, there's all the subjects. Any genre? No genre. Any illustrator? No illustrator. Any series? No series. Any notes? No notes. Publisher? Yes, there is. Author? Yeah. So whatever SKIS has in there will automatically show up for you over here. Okay. Then all you need to do is go into the copy area, zap in the barcode of the book. Okay. Any barcode, put in the status, put in the location, put in the sublocation, whatever, and then just go save. And of course, if there's any field of information that is required that you haven't put in, like in this case, it's saying the media cannot be blank. Say, okay, just go back to basic, look for the media, or go into the author, illustrator, wherever, whatever it's telling you it needs, and you just put that in. Okay, and then all you do is you just go, I'm going to choose that off the item there, and then you go save, and that's saved. And so if you've got another book, just go new, zap in the ISBN number, Click that button, the record's in, put in the barcode, that's it. You want another one? New, zap in the ISBN number, click that button, put in the barcode in the copies area, that's it, and so forth and so on. And you can do all your cataloging that way, one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. However, what if you're new and you've just bought 100 books or 1,000 books? Isn't there a faster way? Well, we think that's pretty fast, but you can go much faster than that. Click on menu, click on catalog, and instead of catalog, go to the global catalog. Click on the global catalog, and this is what you do. It's very, very powerful and very fast. So if you've got 100 books, divide them into the fiction collection, the non-fiction collection, the teacher's resources, and so forth and so on. And then put in all the holding information about the first group of bookings. So if you've got fiction, tell it it's a fiction, tell it it's stored in that location, it's that sublocation, that's the renewal period, that's the loan period, and so forth. And then just go the ISBN number, okay, and then the barcode, then the next ISBN number, and then the barcode, then the next ISBN number, then the next barcode, and then the next ISBN number, and then the barcode, and then the next ISBN number, and then the barcode. And now you've finished all your fiction. You want to now do non-fiction, change those details for non-fiction and do the same. And that's all there is to it. Very fast, very, very fast. Okay, now if you've done all of that and you want to print spine labels, all you need to do is click the print, and guess what? The spine labels will automatically pop out in the format that it was set up as. I haven't shown you how to set it up. We'll do that in a minute, but there they are. And you can go, oh, but it's starting at spine label number 1. I want to reuse my sheet, and I've already used 17 spine labels. No big deal. So at the bottom, just say leave 17 blanks and go generate. And guess what? It'll move it down. And you just go and print them off. And that's all there is to SKIS cataloging or bulk cataloging or group cataloging, and it's all super fast. But it's all predicated on the fact that you have set up two very, very, very important parameters, and that's your SKIS username and password, and chosen the spine labels you're going to use. So let's deal with the SKIS username and password. How do I put it in? Easy. So you go into menu, you go to catalog, and you go into the global catalog, which will bring you to this screen, except it's going to be blank. But once you come in here, down on the bottom, you click the up arrow, and you go for the Z3950 database. That's where you go. You click on that, and you look for SKIS. When it comes up with the SKIS, see the SKIS group and Library of Victoria, you probably only have one. So you can go SKIS, and you can put in your SKIS membership number there. And you put in your SKIS password up here. And then you just go save or update, whatever that button is. And you exit out. And that's all you need to do. And then you need to set up your spine labels. So where do you do that? Same area. Click the upload button and click the default spine labels. And as long as you're running one of these, they will appear here. And my recommendation, RACO 12603 is pretty industry standard. Okay, so you can choose any one you like, but choose that one if you haven't got one at the moment. And then remember to hit the save. Now you say, yes, but I have 25 pages of these other spine labels and I want to use them. Good luck. You can go to our reports module and format your own spine label. It might take you a day, it might take you a week because it's out by a millimeter, it's short by a millimeter, the margins are too big. So you have to do all of that yourself. So you're better off to spend $50. Go and buy any one of these spine labels, and then all you need to do is pick it, and you don't ever have to format or change anything. You just pick it off the list and it will work 100% of the time, every time. And honestly, $50 is small insurance to pay for no headaches. Okay, so that's how global cataloging will work. Okay, so now that you've got all the books on the system, you've got all the patrons on the system, they've got all their borrowing parameters. How do I circulate? Easy. Menu, circulation, circulation. Okay. And when the circulation screen comes up, it's blue. That means you're ready to loan books. Returns, you're ready to return books. It's pink. So loans. So how do I circulate? Well, in here is the only area in here, up here. That's the only area that's data entry in the entire screen. Okay. So you zap in the patron's barcode, then you zap in the item barcode, item barcode, item barcode, next patron barcode, item barcode, item barcode, next patron barcode, item barcode, next patron barcode, item barcode, next patron. Ah, but he hasn't got his borrower card. So you say, well, what's your name? It's Mike. So just type in Mike, and all the different mics will come up. Choose the mic that you want to borrow to, and then go ahead and lend out the item barcode. And if there's any reason why it says it's on loan, well, it can't be on loan. You've got it in your hand. So Ava has put it onto the shelf. So you just go and say, all right, I'll loan it out. And that's it. And now you enter the next barcode of the book or the next patron. And that's all there is to it. It literally is that simple. If you want to return a book, just click on return and just type in the barcode of the book. Okay. And it will check and see what's going on the system, and it will return that book for you. Okay. You just go, okay, and it's returned. And that's all there is to it. If you got a patron up there and they've got books that are overdue, you want to send them a notice, just click down here and you can go, I want current loans or I want overdue loan. All these relate to this one particular patron. So you can do all of that activity from here. If you want to investigate Michael's patron record, you can click on the title. It'll bring up his patron record. You want to investigate the catalog record, click on the catalog title, and it'll bring up the catalog record for that. So you can do a lot of stuff off here. Okay. So, but essentially, loans, returns, and that's all there is to it. Okay. If you've got someone that's got a book out on loan, so like a teacher, you might have a teacher that's got 60 books on loan and they want to renew them all. So all you do is you put a tick on the top and it'll put a tick on every book on that list, or you manually tick the ones you want to renew. And then all you do is click the renew button and it renews it according to those parameters that we created before. But you can say, no, 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 no. They want to renew this till the end of the year. So go into the calendar, choose when you want to renew it to, and then go renew. And all of a sudden, that's all those books with a tick have been renewed to that particular date. Okay, very simple, very easy. Now, if you want to chase up loans, there's a long-winded way to do it, and there's a short-winded way. We'll start with the long-winded way. Menu, and you go to reports and reports. I would encourage you to go into the reports module and play around to your heart's content. You cannot damage the system and you will not waste paper. So if you're in here and you want to say, I want to go to current loans and I want it by classification of home, just go ahead and choose one. Okay. And then enter the classifications that you want the loans for, and then just go generate. If you don't put any classifications, it'll do everyone. It'll do the year 8s, then it'll do the year 9, then it'll do the year 10s. But you could have just put in year 8s. Okay. And that's how you do it. And then you can go and you can do another report. So let's go home. Okay. And what you can do current loans report, but you want it by patron. Okay, so if you don't have a loans report by patron on here, you can ask us to do one for you, or you can click on here and then produce the loans by patrons from here. Okay, but you might say, yes, but in my school, I send all the loans to a homeroom teacher and get them to chase it for me. So you can go in here and you can call out the homerooms and click in the homeroom and then go generate. If you don't put anything there, it'll do every homeroom over here. Okay, and there's your 06A. Now, what you can do is you can do this. You can say 06A. Yep, that's correct. Now generate that report. So this is for the 6As. And you can go, I want to email that to the 6A homeroom teacher. So click on email. And you can go send now. You can put that, you need to put their email address in here. who you specified to, and you can go send now. Okay. But why not put their email address here and say, "Hi, Marianne, can you please chase these loans for me or overdues for me?" Then you can say, "Starting from Wednesday at 7 o'clock in the morning, frequency of weekly," and now you go schedule that. And you'll never, ever, ever have to chase the homeroom teacher. And guess what? You can even do the same with the students. So when you come and you want to send letters out automatically where you don't have to do it, you want to concentrate on more important library functions and you want all this chasing and reporting, the same thing will apply. Your bursar might say, "I want you to send me every 3 months or every month what the library expenditure is and what resources you bought." We can show you how to schedule any kind of report on any kind of information on any kind of schedule and automatically have it sent to any kind of person in the system. Okay, so the reports module is very flexible, very detailed, and this is just administrators walk around, so we can do a special training session for you just on that, or you can ask us to do a YouTube event so that you can also talk to your colleagues and get them to join in on it, and we can do that sort of event based on the topic you decide. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so that was just a 35-minute administrators walk around on the system. If you'd still like some more detailed information, some more detailed help, how do you do it? Menu mailbox is the fastest way, and create a ticket. And we'd like to treat you like as if you were the only customer we had. And we will work with you and give you as much help, as much assistance on anything. And remember, when you create a mailbox ticket and you've got an issue that you want to learn about circulation and you want to learn about cataloging and you want to learn about overdue emails, don't put them all in the one ticket. Create 3 different tickets. Okay, and then that way we'll address one, someone else might address the other ticket, and a third person might address a third ticket. Or we look at it and we might say, why don't we just do a consolidated training? You might turn and say you want a consolidated training based on all of that. It's up to you. But creating a ticket and requesting help is the best way for you to learn. And we'll never treat you like, "I've already told you that 10 times." We'll treat you like, "Obviously we didn't make ourselves clear. Let's try and do it again." So please contact our support. I think you'll find they are absolutely fantastic. Okay. And just for your information, okay, when you go into our functional solutions page, have a look at the support button, okay, and scroll down. We are absolutely amazing in the unlimited ways that we support our customers. Nobody does it the way we do, and no one gives you so much support. All you need to do is have a look and tell us what exactly you're after, and you will find articles here, or you can ask us to send you articles or videos or one-on-ones. It's entirely up to you. Thank you very much for this opportunity to do a Smart Library Administrators walkthrough.